History is filled with moments so strange, so unlikely, and so astonishing that they sound like fiction. The kind of stories you would expect to hear in myths, legends, or tall tales rather than in the pages of real historical records. Yet these events truly happened, shaped the world in unexpected ways, and revealed just how bizarre, unpredictable, and endlessly fascinating the human story can be. This journey through 10 historical facts that sound fake but are not, is more than a collection of curiosities. It is a reminder that reality often surpasses imagination, and that the past is full of surprises waiting to be rediscovered. These stories challenge our assumptions, expand our understanding of what is possible, and show that truth is sometimes stranger than anything we could invent. 10. A war was once fought over a bucket. In medieval Italy, the city-states of Modena and Bologna were fierce rivals, locked in a long struggle for power, territory, and prestige. But one of their most infamous conflicts began with something that sounds almost unbelievable: the theft of a wooden bucket. According to historical accounts, soldiers from Modena stole a bucket from a well in Bologna, and the insult was so great that it escalated into a full-scale war involving thousands of troops, sieges, and battles. The conflict, known as the War of the Bucket, became a symbol of how pride and rivalry could ignite violence over even the most trivial objects. Although the bucket itself was not the true cause of the war, deeper political tensions were already simmering. The fact that such a mundane item became the spark for a major conflict highlights the absurdity and unpredictability of human behavior. The bucket, still preserved in Modena today, stands as a reminder that history is shaped not only by grand ambitions, but also by moments of pettiness that spiral far beyond their origins. 9. Napoleon was once attacked by rabbits. Napoleon Bonaparte, one of the most formidable military leaders in history, commanded armies across Europe and reshaped the continent through strategy, ambition, and relentless determination. Yet he once found himself fleeing from an unexpected enemy: a horde of rabbits. During a celebratory hunt organized by his staff, hundreds of rabbits were released for the emperor and his officers to pursue. But instead of scattering, the animals charged directly at Napoleon, swarming around him in a chaotic and comical scene that forced him to retreat to his carriage. The incident sounds like a joke, yet it is recorded in multiple accounts, revealing a rare moment when the great conqueror was overwhelmed not by armies or empires, but by an overenthusiastic collection of rabbits. The story endures because it humanizes a figure often portrayed as larger than life, reminding us that even the most powerful individuals can be humbled by the unexpected. 8. Cleopatra lived closer to the moon landing than to the pyramids. Cleopatra VII, the last ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, is often associated with the grandeur of the ancient pyramids, yet she lived more than 2,000 years after their construction, placing her closer in time to the Apollo moon landing than to the building of the Great Pyramid of Giza. This surprising fact challenges our perception of ancient history, which often compresses thousands of years into a single mental image of ancient Egypt, ignoring the vast stretches of time that separate its different eras. The realization that Cleopatra lived in a world already ancient to her underscores the depth and longevity of Egyptian civilization, reminding us that history is not a single timeline, but a layered tapestry of cultures, dynasties, and transformations. It also highlights how easily our minds collapse distant eras into a single narrative, overlooking the immense span of human history that lies between them. 7. A pope once declared a dead man guilty. In one of the most bizarre episodes in medieval history, Pope Stephen VI conducted a trial known as the Cadaver Synod, in which he exhumed the corpse of his predecessor, Pope Formosus, dressed it in papal robes, and placed it on a throne to stand trial for alleged crimes. The macabre spectacle shocked contemporaries, and remains one of the strangest events ever recorded in the history of the papacy, revealing the intense political rivalries and factional conflicts that plagued the Church during that era. The fact that a dead man could be put on trial, condemned, and symbolically punished sounds like something from a dark satire, yet it reflects the extreme lengths to which political factions would go to assert legitimacy and control. The Cadaver Synod stands as a reminder that history is filled with moments where power, fear, and obsession override reason, producing scenes that defy belief. 6. The shortest war in history lasted less than an hour. The Anglo-Zanzibar War of 1896 is widely considered the shortest war in recorded history, lasting somewhere between 38 and 45 minutes from the opening shots to the surrender. The conflict erupted after a dispute over the succession of the Sultan of Zanzibar, and when diplomatic negotiations failed, British forces launched a swift bombardment that quickly overwhelmed the palace defenses. The war ended almost as soon as it began, leaving behind a brief but remarkable footnote in the annals of military history. The idea that a war could begin and end in less time than a modern television episode sounds absurd, yet it highlights how power imbalances and political tensions can produce conflicts that are both sudden and fleeting. The Anglo-Zanzibar War serves as a reminder that not all wars are prolonged struggles. Some are brief eruptions of force that resolve disputes with startling speed. 5. An emperor once tried to make his horse a consul. The Roman Emperor Caligula is often remembered for his eccentric and erratic behavior, and one of the most famous stories about him is his alleged attempt to appoint his horse, Incitatus, as a consul of Rome. While historians debate the exact details, there is strong evidence that Caligula lavished extraordinary attention on his horse, providing it with a marble stall, jeweled decorations, and servants, and that he may have intended the consulship either as a genuine act or as a satirical insult to the Senate. The idea of a horse holding political office sounds like pure fiction, yet the story reflects the tensions between Caligula and the Roman elite, as well as the emperor's desire to mock or undermine the institutions he viewed with contempt. Whether literal or symbolic, the episode reveals the extremes of imperial power and the fragile balance between authority and absurdity in ancient Rome. 4. A medieval king died from eating too many eels. King Henry I of England, a ruler known for his administrative reforms and political skill, is believed to have died after consuming an excessive amount of lampreys, a type of eel-like fish that was considered a delicacy in medieval Europe. Despite warnings from his physicians, Henry indulged in his favorite dish during a hunting trip, leading to a sudden illness that proved fatal. The story sounds almost comical, yet it reflects the dietary habits and medical beliefs of the time, when food was often linked to health in ways that modern science would find questionable. The idea that a king could die from overeating lampreys highlights the vulnerability of even the most powerful individuals to the limitations of their era's knowledge. It also serves as a reminder that history is filled with unexpected causes of death, shaped by cultural practices and personal choices that seem strange to us today. 3. A town once elected a dog as its mayor. In the small town of Rabbit Hash, Kentucky, a dog named Goofy Bornman Calhoun was elected mayor in the late 20th century, beginning a tradition of canine leadership that continues to this day. The elections, held as fundraising events for the community, resulted in several dogs serving as symbolic mayors, capturing the imagination of residents and visitors alike. The idea of a dog holding political office sounds like a joke, yet it reflects the town's sense of humor, community spirit, and willingness to embrace unconventional traditions. The story highlights how local customs can evolve into beloved institutions, and how communities can use creativity and playfulness to strengthen social bonds. The canine mayors of Rabbit Hash remind us that not all political stories are serious. Some are celebrations of the quirky, joyful, and unexpected aspects of human society. 2. A Roman army once got lost and ended up in China. One of the most intriguing theories in ancient history suggests that a group of Roman soldiers, captured during a battle in the Middle East, may have been relocated eastward and eventually ended up in what is now China, where they served as mercenaries or settlers. While the details remain debated, there is evidence of unusual military formations and cultural traces in certain regions that hint at the presence of foreigners with Roman-style tactics. The idea of Romans reaching China sounds like a fantasy, yet it reflects the vast networks of migration, warfare, and cultural exchange that connected ancient civilizations. Whether the story is interpreted as a historical curiosity or a testament to the mobility of ancient peoples, it challenges the assumption that ancient societies were isolated from one another. The possibility of Roman soldiers living and fighting in China reveals the surprising reach of human movement long before the modern era. 1. A president once kept a pet alligator in the White House. In the early 19th century, President John Quincy Adams kept a pet alligator in the White House, a gift from the Marquis de Lafayette. The alligator was housed in a bathroom and reportedly used to amuse visitors, creating one of the most unusual presidential anecdotes in American history. The idea of an alligator roaming the halls of the White House sounds like pure fiction, yet it reflects the eccentricities and personal quirks of historical figures whose lives were often far stranger than we imagine. The story of the presidential alligator highlights how even the most formal institutions can harbor moments of whimsy and oddity, reminding us that history is not only shaped by grand decisions and political struggles, but also by the unexpected details that reveal the humanity of those who lived it. These 10 historical facts, though they sound unbelievable, are rooted in real events that shaped the world in ways both profound and peculiar. They remind us that history is not a dry collection of dates and names, but a vibrant tapestry of stories filled with humor, tragedy, absurdity, and wonder. By exploring these surprising moments, we gain a deeper appreciation for the richness of the past and the endless capacity of human history to astonish us.